Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we're working on speech anxiety in all its forms. I'm talking with Maor. Did I pronounce that name correctly? Good.
Yes.
Okay. Maor is 26. He lives in Israel. He's a student in software engineering, and he's been stuttering since he was 3 to 4. He stutters on most words in nearly all conversations. 80% block, 70% repeat, 60% grimaces and body contortions, 100% on the phone, and close to that with strangers and authorities, and 60% in class. He said he can usually talk alone without stuttering and read aloud alone without stuttering. He does not whisper well without stuttering. Whispering is the worst, he said. For therapies, he's had a great many, psychologists and the like, mostly when growing up. None helped at all. And he has our app, our mobile app, StopStutter app, which anybody can get by going on their cell phone to the App Store and looking for StopStutter app. And everybody should do that because it's a great program. I helped write it. I didn't write it all, but it's a very helpful program. So Maor has talked with one of our other coaches, Danny, and Danny asked me to coach Maor initially, which I'm going to do, and then a few times, and then Danny's going to take over. So, all right, so with that background, I'll ask you a few questions. Tell me a little bit about your family, your parents, brothers and sisters, that sort of thing.
Okay, the difficult, I will try. I live with my mother, my little brother, and 9 years old, and she's a lawyer, and that's all I'm studying to the college. Sometimes to the military, they're doing a soldier in Israel because it's a must, and stutter all day long, like you can see, and trying to cure it with your help.
Okay, now let me say that number one, I have a hearing problem, so we make a great combo. You got a speech problem, and I've got a hearing problem. And even though I have hearing aids, and even though I could hear the volume of what you're saying, it sometimes distorts sounds. On top of that, English is not your first language, and so you have a bit of an accent, and that that makes it harder for old Westerner Lee, to understand you. So I didn't understand what you said, but it served a good purpose to hear you speak because it established sort of a line as to where you are at the moment, at least in talking to me. Now, I want to start by teaching you something that applies to stuttering and not to stuttering. It applies to all speech. I practiced law for many years, and I examined many witnesses on the stand in court. And I used to always teach them this. Very few of any of them stuttered, but I taught them all what I'm going to teach you right now. There are 3 ways to answer a question. Most questions: yes, no, and I don't know. 3 answers to most questions. Now, attorneys, judges, juries, and people on a street corner, or people at dinner in your home or wherever who ask you a question want an answer to their question. They don't want a speech. So if you can answer a question yes, no, or I don't know, and which you can most questions, you do that first. You don't explain and then say yes, no, or whatever. You do yes, no, or I don't know first. So any question that you ask, and stuttering is caused in part by an inability to communicate. The second you communicate adequately, pressure drops. It always will. So when you communicate an idea, you have in effect accomplished your goal, even without an explanation. So when you're asked a question, if it can be answered yes, no, or I don't know, I want you to do one of three things. If it's yes, I want you to nod your head, and as you nod it, yes, think about the nodding and say yes. Do that now. Think about the nodding. All right, now, wait. As you think about the nodding and say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Good. Now, I want you to, the answer to the question is no. I want you to nod your head left and right. And as you do so, think about the nodding and say no.
No.
You're not thinking, if you have trouble saying the no, you're not thinking about the nodding. If you'll think about the nodding, you can say no. No.
No.
Now, I don't know.
I don't know.
Can't say. See my shoulders? Don't know.
Can't say.
Don't know.
I don't know.
Perfect. Here's the thing. Now you just learned two things. As long as you live, from this moment, you will never again have trouble answering a question that allows itself to be answered yes, no, or I don't know. From now on to your last breath, no matter what else happens to you, you will always be able to answer yes, do that.
Yes.
No.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You will always be able to do that from this moment as long as you live. Now, you have read one of my books, right? Now, what is the answer? You don't try to answer. You don't try to answer. You shake your head and think about the answer. And as you shake your head and think about shaking, you say, yes, do that. You're not thinking about shaking. You're thinking about the word. Think about shaking. Yes.
I'm trying, man. Yes.
Look,
Yes.
I don't care if you say okay or right. You don't even have to say yes for that matter, but you can, it's easy. But it's easy when you think about your head. Yeah, and I'll tell you something else. Put more into it, like yes.
Yes.
Yes. You don't try to say it. You shake your head, and as you shake your head, you say it. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
No.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There you go. Yes. Okay, I'll ask you some questions. Do you like to stutter?
No.
Would you like to be fluent?
Yes.
How far, what's the mileage from the Earth to the moon?
To the moon.
How many miles is it from the Earth to the moon?
I don't know.
There you go. There you go. So we keep going. Any question you can answer anytime, Maor, that you use your hands gesticulating in a normal way, it takes thought. And when you think about using your hands, it takes your thought. When you don't think anything and try and speak, you have the habit, as you know, of stuttering. It's built, you've been doing it for some time, and so it's natural for you to think about it. But so when you think nothing and try to speak, the habit takes over. It grabs the steering wheel of your brain. Now, when you do something else, anything else, and really think about something else, like using your hands as an example, it blocks the habit. Now, it can block it 100% or 90% or whatever, but it will block the habit. So we want to use some gesticulations. These are normal things. They're not abnormal, rolling our eyes to the ceiling or spitting or doing anything abnormal. These are all normal things that we do with our hands. Okay, now, a lot of questions can be answered with numbers. How many brothers do I have? 1. How many sisters do I have? 2. How old am I? 22. Any number, any question that I can answer in part with numbers on my fingers, I do it. For now, just for now. And I put them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many are 10? 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay. As I put them up first. How many brothers do I have? 1. And then I say it, I push it out. I want you to get in the habit of over-speaking. Stuttering is holding back. We do the reverse. We're dramatic. When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep. In other words, I'm an actor. I want you to be an actor. I want you to project more energy. The reverse of stuttering, holding back. Oh, I can't be. That's holding back. That's holding back. No, I'm going to do the reverse. I'm an actor on the stage, and I like it there. I love to speak. I have fun speaking. Speaking is natural. I can do it, and so can you, believe it or not. You can do this. So using counting helps too. So when I ask you a question that lends itself to a numerical answer, I want you to put the number, hold the number up right away. 1, 3, hold the number up first. 5, and then as it comes up, 5, 6, I want you to throw the numbers up there like that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. How many brothers do you have?
1.
Hold it straight up in the air, not sideways. You're trying to make it easy for the person to count. Look, you're communicating, Maor. We're not holding back. So, how many brothers do you have?
1.
Straight up, not sideways.
1.
Thank you. How many sisters do you have?
Zero. Zero.
Okay. What number comes after 3?
4.
What number comes after 6?
7.
Okay.
Yes.
What number comes after 9?
10.
Perfect. What age did you start stuttering?
0. From forever.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Very few people talk before age 3.
So 3.
It would be 3. Is this the book you read? Stop Stuttering Short Course?
I do. Yes. Yes.
Did you read this one too? How to Stop Stuttering and Love Speaking?
In the middle, I started to read the book, but I'm reading it now.
Okay, good.
Again.
You have the mobile apps, the StopStutter app. Look,
Yes, yes.
Maor. You're trying to speak before you move your head. Have you studied the crutch chart yet?
Yes.
Good. Now that was good because you got some head nodding, and then you throw in the yes. I actually don't even need to hear the yes when I see you nod your head. So it's nice to hear it, but I don't have to. Now, one easy thing for a lot of people is when they want to say something, they come out of their voice register. That's crutch 8. I'm in my regular voice register right now. When I go up here, I'm out of it. When I go down here, I'm out of it. A lot of times, if you start talking out of your voice register, it'll be easier. Say after me, try and do it the way I do it. When I'm worried, say that.
When I'm worried
And I can't sleep,
and I can't sleep,
I count my blessings
I count my blessing
instead of sheep,
instead of sheep,
and I fall asleep,
and I fall asleep,
counting my blessings.
counting my blessing.
When my bankroll
When my bankroll
is getting small,
is getting small,
I think of when
I think of when
I had none at all,
I had none at all,
and I fall asleep,
and I fall asleep,
counting my blessings.
counting my blessing.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
Yes,
It wasn't so
yes,
hard. It's not so hard. When you project, instead of holding back, you do the reverse. You really say it like you mean it. Your thoughts are full of how you say it, not what the word is. When you stop thinking words and think thoughts, you'll stop stuttering. Strange as it may sound, the reason you stutter is you focus on words. And you're afraid of them. So was I. So was every stutterer. When you focus on how you can say it like you mean it, you're not thinking words. You're thinking how you can say them. convincingly. When you do that, you won't stutter. Today, feel that I speak amazing, but there are days I can't say a word at all. The day has nothing to do with it. How you think about it has everything to do with it. When you change the way you think about it, it won't be a problem. But that's hard to do until you know some ways to do it. Okay, so say after me. I will say it like I mean it. Say it just like that.
I will say it like I mean it.
I'm serious.
I'm serious.
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
I like to speak.
I like to speak.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Now, I want you to do the pronunciation the same way I do it. Pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
When I speak.
When I speak.
I will pronounce.
I will pronounce the correct line.
Every word.
Every word.
And every syllable.
And every syllable.
It's not hard.
It's not hard.
I will think.
I will think
about my pronunciation.
My pronunciation.
That
is
the key.
Is the key
to fluency.
To fluency.
I will pronounce.
Every word. Every word.
And every syllable.
And every syllable.
Every syllable.
Every syllable.
What do you think about that?
The amazing using using that grass.
When you answer me, I want you to think pronunciation of every word. Will you do that? Question. Will you do that?
When you do that?
No, I said will
do
that.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think that is amazing because doing this class.
Think of it now as you
lot.
Look.
I'm using class 9.
Look, here's the key. The key, Maor. You have a habit of thinking, fearing, forcing, or hesitating, thinking, fearing, forcing words. Now that's your habit. Every stutterer has the same habit. And so yours is run away with you. But you have just proven to me and to yourself that when you think pronunciation and over pronounce every word and syllable, your mind is full. It blocks the habit. But you must think. Pronunciation of every syllable in every word. All the time. Don't speak without thinking. Pronunciation. What is your first name?
Maor,
Where do you live?
Israel,
How old are you?
26.
What languages do you speak?
And I speak Hebrew and English.
Have you ever been to America?
No, but this is the dream, so I will come to meet you in the future.
Okay. Have you been to Europe?
Yes,
Where have you been?
I've been at Greece, in Romania, and Italy. Traveled to also to Thailand, to South America, and to Mexico. I've been at Mexico, so it's pretty close.
Good. That's
Pretty
pretty
close.
good. Pretty good. But keep thinking pronunciation with every word and every syllable. You're no longer thinking words, can I say it? You're thinking pronunciation. There's a difference. You must not let go of that thought. Pronunciation. That is the lesson for today is yes, no, and I don't know, and it's pronunciation. Those are the things we're learning today. We're going to make it, and look, as a general rule, until you enjoy speaking, as I do, and as Danny does, until you can do that, you only say what is needed. You don't say anything else. If somebody says, what's your name? You don't say, my name is Maor. You say Maor. If they say, how do you feel? You say, fine. You don't give a speech. For the moment, I'm not saying don't speak. I'm saying speak, but only say what is needed to speak. So that's kind of like until when? Until speaking becomes easy, and it will. But for the moment, until it does, we talk less. And so we start out with that premise. We're going to speak. We're going to communicate, but we're not going to say what's unnecessary. Somebody says, what do you want for lunch? You don't have to say, I'll have a hamburger. You can say, a hamburger. What would you like to drink? A milkshake, whatever. You give the information that's needed. Now, so number one, we're going to speak less. Number two, you will use natural gestures. Yes, okay, 1, 10, great, natural gestures. And the most important thing for today is pronunciation. Pronunciation. Say after me, Israel.
Israel.
Iran.
Iran.
Iraq.
Iraq.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
America.
America.
Europe.
Europe.
Africa.
Africa.
London.
London.
New York.
New York.
Good. As you do it, with the first syllable or the first word, tend to come out of your voice register a little bit. Mayor. It's not mayor. It's mayor. Say that.
Mayor.
Lee.
Lee.
Coach Lee.
Coach Lee.
New York.
New York.
London.
London.
Israel.
Israel.
Now what you're doing is when you come out of your voice register, that's crutch 8, modulation. And pronunciation is mainly brought up in crutch 9, but the crutch numbers don't matter so much. It's good to know them, but so you're only going to say what's necessary, but you're going to say it. And 2, you're going to use gestures when you can. Normal gestures. And most importantly, you're going to use pronunciation. Say that.
Pronunciation.
Okay, say it slower. Pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
And you can use your hand to kind of follow along. Pronunciation. Do that.
Pronunciation.
Mayor.
Mayor.
So with the first, so pronunciation, and then the first word or syllable we go out of our voice register. Welcome.
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 Hello.
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 Goodbye.
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 Bye.
It's not that hard, is it? Are you feeling?
That I got you that easier, but outsider, it's like a war zone.
Pronunciation, you don't get permission to speak unless you think pronunciation with every word and syllable. You don't get to speak.
Okay, I will try now to use pronunciation.
All
It
the
is
time.
here, over here, all the time. From today, I promise that I will use all the time extra pronunciation.
And you start up high. You start up high, like welcome or low. Welcome. You can go either high or low, but you got to go one or the other. And then it's pronunciation. And look, as a general rule, keep your answers short. If somebody says, how are you? Don't give a speech. You're fine. Nobody really wants to know how you or anyone else is. It's just a courtesy. It's a way of saying good morning, you know. But don't keep, so when I say keep your answers short, when you speak, It's best to speak 1 to 3 words at a time and stop. When you speak in short increments, pressure doesn't have time to build. It's easier for anyone, stutterer or no, to speak in short increments than in long continuums where they don't stop talking and they just keep on talking and talking and talking and they never shut their mouths. You and I want to speak a few words, 1 to 3 words or so at a time. So that's what short is. The golden rule for you from now till the next time you see me, every time you speak, you must think pronunciation. Pronounce every word and syllable. Fill your mind with that, and speech won't be hard. I'll ask you a couple more questions. We want short answers, and you're thinking pronunciation. What is your favorite sport?
Bouldering, it's to climb. Bouldering.
Bouldering, climbing, wow. I've never done that. It sounds dangerous to me to be on rocks like that, but I know nothing about it. Are there many mountains near you where you live?
No, I stopped to climb because
now you're forcing the word. You're forcing the word rather than thinking pronunciation. Well, look, when you're stuck on a word, don't go. Don't do that. Look. Let me tell you something, Maor. Forcing words guarantees stuttering. You can't win. You say, well, that's the only way I get the word out. That's the old Maor. That's not the new Maor. The new Maor uses pronunciation and keeps it short. And you're doing 2 things. You're coming out of your voice register for the first word or syllable. My name is Maor. And just so you're coming out of your voice register for my name is Maor. Say that.
My name is Maor.
Now, once you start, you're going to hum like you're singing to the stop. My name is Maor. I'm putting a lot of breath. My name is Maor. Do that.
My name is Maor.
Okay. Wasn't so hard, was it? No,
yes.
it's not. It's not that hard. Look, I'm telling you, it's not that hard to win this game, but it takes a lot of practice. You can't allow yourself, you got a stinking habit. That's all it is. It's a habit. And when you stop the habit, the problem will go away. Look, on the cover of my books, on all my books at the bottom, I say, if I can say 1 word anywhere, anytime, I can say any word anywhere, anytime. Do you believe that?
Yes.
And that is the gospel truth. And you're going to prove it to yourself. You know you can say one word. You said a lot of words to me today. You can say a lot of words. But if you can say one, you can speak. You can say any word you need to say. You just got to change the way you do it. You got to change the habit. Don't hesitate. Think a word, fear it, and force it. To heck with that. The thing you can't do is force words. You've got to stop that. This that you're bouncing around that you're doing. Stop that. Just stop it and pronounce it or pick another word. But you can pronounce. If you had written the word that you were struggling with, we don't practice words. We practice methods. But we like to use words that give people trouble. Most people have trouble with their own name, with their parents' names, their animals' names, their countries' names, their schools' names, their job names. They have things that they have to say. That's what gets us started with a problem. But we can say any of that stuff, any of it, and we can do it now. We absolutely can do it. So, all right. So what's your job? Your job is to do the StopStutter app. Look, are you doing mind training twice a day?
Yes.
Good. Glad to hear it. Are you doing reading aloud about 1 hour or more a day?
Yes.
Because that'll help you too. Because when you read aloud, you're fluent, right?
Yes.
And you need to hear that. You need to hear that. And when you talk to your pets, you're fluent, right?
Yes.
Talk to your pets. When you talk to children under 5 years old, you're fluent.
No, really.
Okay, forget them. Talk to your pets. When you're in the shower, you're talking and you're fluent. Talk away, man. Look, you got to get used. You got to teach your brain that what you do in the shower, what you do with your dogs, what you do when you're reading aloud, what you do with me in a Skype, you can do anywhere. It's all nonsense, Maor. It's BS. It's not true. It's something we've created. It's an obstacle that we've created, and I did it too. And it took me a long time to get over it, but because I didn't know what to do. And I did mainly self-hypnosis, and then I learned these crutches, and finally I figured out, and I love to speak. I mean, I truly do. And you're going to teach yourself not only to speak, but to love to speak, because it's fun. You want to be an actor. Stuttering is holding back. Forget about it. You're not going to hold back anymore. You got one life to live. You're not going to hold back. You're going to live your life. You're going to put yourself out there. You're going to make some mistakes, but you're going to do some good stuff. And you're going to keep putting yourself out there until you do the best you can do. You're like everybody else. We're all alike, Maor. We're 99% identical. You know that. It's our attitude that we need to work on. And for now, you're working on your speech. Okay. And you're going to convert your stuttering into a blessing in your life. I did. I have less anger than I did before I stuttered. I have less anxiety than I did before I stuttered. I'm less jealous. I have less hatred. I have less insomnia. All because I stuttered. And I stopped it. I'm not doing anything you can't do. When you become the best you can be, as I have become the best I can be, I'm constantly improving it. Still, you will be among the best people you know. That's the joke. And you will be a good speaker by your definition. What do you think of that?
That sounds good.
You can do it, but you got to be as determined. You're not taking no for an answer. If the old fool in Bermuda can do it, if Danny can do it, you can do it. We're not geniuses. We're just guys. So you're going to do the same thing. And you're going to have the last laugh on yourself. Because when Maor masters Maor, Maor wins the game of life. Stuttering is but one example. It stinks, and you got to get rid of it, and you're going to do it now. Period. And you can. Hundreds of other people have done it in our system. Millions can do it, and I hope they will. And we'll start with you. The main messages today were say what you have to, and that's it. So you're talking less. The most important thing today is pronunciation, extreme pronunciation of every word and every syllable. We also worked on modulation. Modulation. We come out of our voice register, up or down to start. Hello, goodbye, may your coach lead. And we think pronunciation, and we keep it short. We speak one word or two or three, then stop. 1 second. 1001 is 1 second. We talk in short increments of 1 to 3 words or so. We don't count words. There is no bad place to stop talking for 1 second. Short, short, short. Pronunciation, pronunciation. I made that word into 5 words. Pronunciation. That's the way we want you to speak until we see you again. Coaches heal no one. Every PWS heals himself. You can do it. You've been doing it today. My. You've been fluent for long periods today. My. I ask you to do the same things all week long. Only you can stop your stuttering. I stopped mine. Danny stopped his. It's your turn to stop yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lee. This was
my pleasure. Until next week.
Till next week. And until next week.